Hey everybody, Fifth Horseman here, playing more Kerbal Space Program, and we are launching from Kerbal Space Center 2, mostly for the fun of it. We are going to send these guys, if you look here, we've got a bunch of numbered Kermans. These are the drones for our extraplanetary launchpad bases. You need engineers, and so I have hired a bunch of engineers, and I found out if you name your guys 3, 4, 7, 9, 14, 19, blah, 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 you can get 10 Kermans if you go up to, I think it's 27. You can get 10 Kerman. 10 engineer Kerbals. And that's what we're doing. We're going to launch these guys. We're going to train them via the method where you go through Moon's Sphere of Influence to eject yourself from Kerbin's Sphere of Influence, then come back into Kerbin's Sphere of Influence, land on Minmus, and come home. What I did to the 3 guys, only I'm actually going to land on Minmus this time instead of screwing that part up. So, without further ado, though, I'm going to turn on the computer because that is critical to success. I am going to count down in 3, 2, 1, launch. And those little solids were just enough to keep us hot, with decent thrust of weight right near the ground. Now, I've started wandering slightly off the vertical, which is very distressing because in my testing, it was extremely easy to not be able to fix this. It looks like I haven't gone so far that I can't fix it now, but it is a very close. And if you can't fix it, you're basically dead. I'll have to bring this thing back down and land it. Notice that the little engines here are going to help. That's going to get our thrust to weight still fairly low, but it's higher than it would have been with just these 2 solids. And control is really poor on these, so I'm actually leaning over slightly earlier than I might normally do it, but not early enough because my apoapsis is already at 14 and I've barely turned over 10 degrees. But a late turn is better than an early turn with this guy, I have found. Not that I've done a massive amount of extensive testing on it, but I have done a massive amount of extensive testing on it. A ridiculously large amount of extensive testing. A lot more controllable now with the last thing ditched. But I'm going to tilt all the way over to about 35 degrees here. Or 25 degrees, I'm sorry. Okay, and now we are down to 0.3 meters per second. And we're a minute from apoapsis, so I'm actually going to tilt this guy up a little bit so that we get extra upward thrust to keep ourselves from getting too close to the apoapsis before we get this guy up. And you'll notice that while we launch directly east, we're starting to turn to the south, which is up on the nav ball. That's because we launched from higher than equatorial. When you launch from Kerbal Space Center, you're equatorial. When you launch from these other launch pads, you could be south, you could be north, whatever. Kerbal Space Center 2 is slightly north. So as you go around in your great circle that started out directly to the east, you actually start to tilt to the south, and then when you get to the other side of the planet, you go back to the north. It's just the way it works. And the fuel's running out of our central tank here, which is going to give us more thrust because we've got an engine under that thing. There we go. Enough to stop our rise, so I'm actually going to tilt over a little bit just to give us more forward thrust. I mean, we're almost out of the atmosphere, so we're far more concerned about raising our periapsis than we are our apoapsis. As we slowly climb here, I'll show you what this ship is. It's basically, it'll carry 10. It carries 4 here, and 2 here. They're all engineers, so it actually has a Kerbal engineer thing stuck somewhere. I don't remember where I put it. But it doesn't need one, obviously. It also has this probe core so that you don't have to bring a pilot along. So you can train 10 pilots, you can train 10 scientists, or in this case, 10 engineers. Okay, 75 by 73. Perfect. And we have enough delta V to get ourselves out of Kerbin's Sphere of Influence, which we don't even need to do, because all we have to do is intersect Moon. And you see here our orbit, as I said, is tilted. It's actually severely tilted, which is kind of funny. I didn't realize it was that high north, but I guess it is, because this is equatorial right here. And yeah, we're launching from way up here, so that's kind of funny. But all we need to do is intersect Moon, which actually might be kind of difficult. We might have to do it over here. So let's go ahead and jump forward a bunch of orbits. And that would do it, although that is far more than we want. Yeah, we want something closer to that, and then we can tweak that when the time comes to get it out there. See, notice it's 860, so we'll still have over 200 meters per second left in this stage, and then we have the stage that's actually going to land us on Minmus. So this should be moderately close to fine. But this is in a day and 4 hours, so we're gonna come back to him, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do at Minmus with the ship that we launched there last time. Actually, when I say the ship, I mean the Kerbals, because these three guys are going down to the surface, and they're going to leave their ship in orbit while they do so. They're actually going to use their jetpacks to get down. I'm going to show you with, let's do it with Kyle. He hasn't done very much on the show yet. I think he's basically ridden up here. So we're going to pop Kyle out here. He is going to get his suit on, and then he is going to target... Oh, it's becoming nighttime, which is kind of annoying. But he's going to set this as his target. And then I think we can actually set up a maneuver node here. This is because of the HUD. We can set up a maneuver node to come down on this base. And then stop him here. And if you look here and you bring the HUD up, he actually has the maneuver node set up. So that's perfect. So in 30 minutes, Kyle is going to go down. He looks pretty happy about this. I think he likes this plan. He's proud to be a part of it. Okay, now he wants to aim retrograde, which is right there. So turn yourself around, Kyle, and burn towards this. Oh, wow. Okay, that should be pretty close to what we want. Let's delete this node. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, if we do another maneuver node here, that should be enough to stop him. Now, this maneuver node is 173 meters per second, which is a decent amount, to be honest. It's kind of a lot. I don't know how much that is in suit burning time. I also don't know where the maneuver node is in the sky. There it is. So I think eventually it's going to become a retrograde thing. So we'll just watch retrograde as we go here for 14 minutes. I'm going to guess that this is going to take at least 2 minutes to burn. So we're going to go a minute before. Mostly just burning towards retrograde here. There's our other base. And I don't think you can burn while you're doing this. No, he's not burning right now, so we can't really go into map mode, sadly. Oh, we definitely can't do that either. And actually, I'm going to go this way and burn. I'm burning backwards so we can see the base in front of us. But yeah, I think his suit is actually a lot stronger than I gave it credit for. Yeah, and he actually has a bigger fuel margin than the ships do. Because Kerbal suits have somewhere around 600 meters per second of thrust in them, which is ridiculous from a spacesuit perspective. Human ships have closer to 25 or so, I think, meters per second. So Kerbals have, what is that? 4x6, 24 times the amount of propellant in them that humans do. Okay. Looks like we're going about 15 meters per second, give or take. Most of it downward. Just slowing down as we come in. We still got half of our suit. Oh yeah, we're coming in at a very sedate pace. I'm actually just going to turn off the HUD because it is no longer needed. And what Kyle's going to do is he's going to come down here. He's going to plant a flag right away, so we don't have to worry about it. And then somebody's going to go up to the station. And when they get up to the ship, I should say, And when they get up to the ship, then Orion or somebody else is going to come down. And we're gonna do that. We're gonna send all 5 of these guys back up to that ship. And the 3 guys down here are going to take over the launcher, and one of them is going to go back up and get in the space station. So I'm not going to show you that. Now that I've shown you one, I'm going to do the rest off camera, because let's face it, it's boring. And eventually I'm going to do this 10 trainer. I'm going to do its burn. I'm probably not going to show you that either. I might show you the second half of that mission, simply because I haven't successfully done the second half of that mission. But I'm not gonna make you watch stuff I've done before. Meanwhile, at the ELP base, we are 10% done building a thing to send up to the space station up there to make it a new core. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use that new core to recycle the old station, because the old station's kind of wonky anyway. It doesn't do what I want. So we're waiting on that. This is why I wanted to train these engineers to hopefully speed up builds like this, both in orbit and on the ground. Okay, and while we're waiting for that thing to finish up there and all of our stuff is still heading out, I'm launching another 10 trainer. This one has some guys who've gone up already, but don't have 3 stars. I figured, why not give everybody 3 stars who has a chance to. We're sending up Lyowen, Matthew, Blizzy, John Droid, Brian, Francois, Hazardous, Fingerboxes, Leg Dig, and Doctor. And of course, I'm not going to show it all to you, but I just wanted you to know that they're going up. So in addition to you guys I just launched, the guys who are left to launch up in the next 10 trainer, which I'm not going to show at all, is Steven, Raffo, Jonathan, Philric, Seraph, DS, Oliver, and Moradin. You guys, just the next time you see your names, you're going to be level 3, and you'll probably be on Minmus already. And you'll be ready to ship off somewhere. And I'm also probably going to hire more engineers and get them going as well. I probably put 2 engineers on the ship with you guys. Why not? Okay, I had to fix the original 10 trainer's trajectory. He had a moon collision trajectory, and I also set up a maneuver node here, which for some reason is the best place to put it. If I bring it in here, we actually get less. We get less of an apoapsis out here. And it's 157 meter per second burn that I wasn't really planning on, so I'm not 100% sure what that's going to mean to the final mission, but we'll find out when we get out there. Also, this is going to be a very close encounter with Moon, so I figure you might want to see it. As dark as it is. Yeah, sadly, we're 7 point something kilometers off the surface here. Okay, now we want a maneuver node here, right as it's escaping. Use precise node and the 100-point jump to actually get that maneuver node. I'm just plussing the time until it jumps away. And there it is out on the orbit. Now, notice we're coming out outside of this thing and far north. So we're going to want to burn south when the time comes. And radially inward. And there we go. We've already got our burn back in. We might have some fun attaching with Minmus from this crazy orbit, but it's the best we can do. So 31 meters per second, though, that's a pretty good time. And meanwhile, we are only a third of the way done completing this thing. And we should be able to do this burn at any time, so we're just going to do it now. I probably did too much. But we are heading back in. Then at our periapsis, burn down. Not that far, though. And we could actually... Can we get a maneuver node on here? Maybe we could use this one. To burn south? No, north. and retrograde. Just combine those into a burn. Actually, boom, that's that right there will do it. 96 meters per second. That's tiny. That is a lot less than I was expecting. Let's see, is he the next thing to happen? Yes. So let's get him back into Kerbin Sphere of Influence before we finalize this maneuver node. Okay. So there's the descending node of negative 9.7. So we need to burn north. And then we also need to burn retrograde until these guys meet. And that's a very nice orbit, and we can tweak it from there. So we need to burn radially inward and normal down. So radially inward is this way, and normal down is this way, and I had that on. So we want to burn this way, and I'm just going to do it. Probably more normal down than radial inward. Okay, we've lost our engines, our other engines, so we're going to drop these. There we go. Now we're going to leave it at this. Our orbit does cross Moon slightly, which is good. At our periapsis, we're going to bring our apoapsis down safely within the sphere of influence here. And then we are also going to radially change it so that it comes into contact with Moon eventually. That's a 30 meter per second burn, and it's very well worth it. And then we're going to have to use Moon to kick this guy out to Minmus. It's just the way it's going to work. Okay, 10 Trainer 2. Okay, and this burn is to... I don't know what this burn is to do. Oh, it's to get us our Minmus encounter. Okay, so we are going to hold on to these engines until we get that Minmus encounter, so that they'll get thrown out of the system. Okay, we're going to kill this maneuver node. We are going to check out our Minmus encounter. Looks pretty good, but I think we need to burn a little bit retrograde. I think it's going to be retrograde. Yeah. Now we're going to ditch our engines. And that shoved us that far ahead. That's crazy. Perfect. And we should not be going as fast as our engines. No, we're not. And let's see what the engines are going to do. They actually lost their connection with Minmus, which is hilarious. But they'll eventually interact with Minmus because they cross its orbit. And then so we can safely delete those, knowing that they'll eventually crash into Minmus or get thrown out of the system or something like that. Okay, well, you guys are now waiting for your connection with Minmus, so we don't have anything to do with you. So let's head back to the original 10 trainer. And this guy's a little more storied, but there's not much we can do. It looks like we actually want to go less radial. Or I should say more radial, higher in the positive direction on the radial, to get us a nice Moon encounter here. Okay, I don't know how long the bird's going to be, but it can't be that long. Oh, wow, 15 seconds, 13. Okay, not exactly what the maneuver node here said it was going to do, but it is crossing where I want it to cross, so I'm happy with that. It looks like there were 2 maneuver nodes set up, not a big deal. Okay, now it's all just waiting for a Moon encounter. Let's set Moon as a target here. And what we want to do is, actually, let's, a little surprised that we don't have encounter markers here. They're over, it's over here for some reason. I love that about this game. So we actually, let's burn a little bit more prograde. We're going to get this to touch right here. And still we get no encounters, which is annoying. What would that cost if we wanted to do this? We have to burn retrograde enough. Then actually we'll get an encounter. No, that's not. That is a terrible idea. Although it's only 187 meters per second, so it's not out of the question, to be honest. That is a terrible, terrible encounter, but it's only 188 meters per second. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to do it. However, it is not the next thing to happen. The next thing to happen is our carbonite base that's heading to Duna has a mid-course correction, so let's go ahead and do him. Okay, you don't have the ability to aim at a maneuver node automatically. So we have to do this the old-fashioned way. I don't remember how easy this thing is to control. Apparently it's not too bad. Whoa. Little dodgy there, little dodgy. Okay, that's as close as we're going to get. Let's see what his Duna encounter looks like. Technically, he has one. I think we're going to have to fix this here, though. Yeah, we'll have to wait until he's closer to get a real guess of this. But it's going to be something about like that. And it's tiny. It's a 20 meter per second burn. Nothing we can't handle. What we care about here, how much meters per second we have? 611. How much is it going to take to slow down here? 269. So yeah, we don't need to dock. We just need to come down and land. So we are actually going to bring this guy down here. 6. I just don't like that. That feels too much to me. So we're going to bring it up to, there we go, 8. Now, the second maneuver node we don't really care about, so we're just going to make a new one. Periapsis. Burn it on down. We want to land in the sun, obviously. Okay, we're in orbit. How does our orbit look? It is still pretty wide. It really doesn't matter what our periapsis does now because we're not coming back. We're landing this orbit. So actually, I think I'm just going to keep burning down. We'll come down right on this nice flat area right here. Or at least close to it. I'm going to turn on trajectories here in fixed body mode. That should be enough to land and get back home. If I don't feel it's enough to land and get back home, we will we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And this burn, it says it's going to take 1 minute and 3 seconds, which is probably not too far off. So I think when we get down to about 30 seconds, we're going to aim retrograde, and we are going to hit the gas. And we're going to open the landing gear. Finally, after all this time, we're opening the landing gear. And we now have a suicide burn distance of 1,000 meters in 39 seconds. I think when we get our surface velocity to 100, I'm going to hit the X here, and we're going to coast a little bit farther. But I don't really want to land on that slope. Which kind of feels like we're going to do. Still feels like we're going to do it. Prep for that. I'm actually going to turn sideways just in case we end up doing it. Okay, we still got 318 meters per second, which is a lot on Minmus. Okay, now we should be guaranteed to land on the flat part. Watching my suicide burn distance here. When it gets down low enough, a a little bit more suicide-y. Oh, geez, turn off stability. It was trying to aim retrograde. That would have been pretty bad. 260. I guessed I would have 260 left when I had it, and that's what I have. Okay, now for the fun part, the graduation ceremony where everybody gets to plant a flag. And there we have it. 10 Kerbals, 10 flags. One of them backwards, but hey, what are you going to expect from Kerbals? This is the graduation class. Next episode, we're going to land them and see them all get 3 stars, hopefully, if I did everything right. And then they're going to be ready. 3 of them are going to be ready to go to Eve. I'm going to do off-camera. I'm going to do the same thing with the engineer drones and bring them back and then send them right back up to the station, or the Minmus base, to start helping out in processing. And then we're going to start doing the Duna stuff, because we are very close to Duna. So that's what you can expect next episode, is us to land on Duna. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I am Fifth Horseman, and I will, as always, talk at you later.